It's the BRANE Show, coming in hot every week. We bring the truth when we speak. Red, white, and blue, the bulls stand tall. We the people, united won't fall. We the people as our beat and rhyme. We're dropping old school values every time. Extreme honesty with a fresh twist. Breaking it down, you don't wanna miss. It's freedom talk, loud and proud. Voice of the people, can't be cowed. Every week, we speak our mind. For love of country, it's one of a kind. So grab a seat, let the BRANE Show roll. We're serving up truth, heart and soul. Brian and Shane, with that patriot steel. For the people, by the people, of the people, let's go. It's the BRANE Show, coming in hot every week. We bring the truth when we speak. Red, white, and blue, the bulls stand tall. We the people, united won't fall. It's the BRANE Show, coming in hot every week. We bring the truth when we speak. Red, white, and blue, the bulls stand tall. We the people, united won't fall. It's the BRANE Show, coming in hot every week. We bring the truth when we speak. Red, white, and blue, the bulls stand tall. We the people, united won't fall. It's the BRANE Show, coming in hot every week. We bring the truth when we speak. Red, white, and blue, the bulls stand tall. We the people, united won't fall. It's the BRANE Show, coming in hot every week. We bring the truth when we speak. Red, white, and blue, the bulls stand tall. We the people, united won't fall. It's the BRANE Show, coming in hot every week. We bring the truth when we speak. Red, white, and blue, the bulls stand tall. We the people, united won't fall.
This is for America!
Shut the fuck up!
Yep. All right.
You know the problem with Hollywood is? They make shit unbelievable, unremarkable shit.
To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair.
Will you fight? No! We will run! And we will live!
Shame on you. This could be the greatest night of our lives. But you're gonna let it be the worst.
And I guarantee a week won't go by in your life you won't regret walking out, letting them get the best of you.
Well, I'm not going home.
Day may come when the courage of men fails, but it is not this day.
The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
I'm not saying it's gonna be easy.
You're gonna work harder than you ever worked before.
I really do believe that together we can accomplish anything.
Because we'll never stop learning and we'll never stop growing.
Failure is not an option.
That's how winning is done. Believe me when I say we can break this army here.
It has made us brothers.
I say to you, what every warrior has known since the beginning of time, you've got to get mad.
I mean plumb mad dog mean.
If you would be free men, then you must
Fight to fulfill that promise. Let us
Cut out their living guts.
1 inch at a time.
And they will know what we can do!
Let no man forget how menacing we are. We are lions.
This is your time.
Seize the day.
Never surrender.
Victory or death.
So come on then! Take it!
This is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
All right, let's fly! My name is the Lord. When I
Tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take
our Independence Day.
You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world.
Oh, we don't sleep to dream, we sleep to build stamina, energy to do our thing. Get your camera on. This show is about to begin, so sit down and buckle it in. Let's go! My name is Brian. I'm joined by my brother Shane and my buddy John, and you are watching the BRANE Show. Good to be here today. Glad to be hanging out with y'all. How are my bros doing? Starting with you, Shane. What's up, man?
I am not at soccer, and so I am here, and it's fantastic. Absolutely great to be with you guys. Happy to be at the beginning of a show again. Hope you've had a great week. John, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks, Shane. And good to see you guys. I'm
you've pulled me away from my supernatural marathon. It takes a special couple of people to make me do that. So you've done it. All credit to you guys. It's great to be here. Let's go. Lots to talk about.
I've been in that dream fever, that state where you don't want to leave watching something like until it's done. But Supernatural special, a lot of seasons.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. Supernatural is one of my favorites. That, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Stargate, like these are things that I can rewatch for years and years and years. What we're talking about today is we're talking about Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel being fired. Speaking of someone I couldn't watch, not once. He was his show has been suspended. His contract has been suspended indefinitely, and his contract is up next April. So, good riddance. We're gonna talk about him, the FCC, the Trump administration, some of the blurry verbiage around freedom of speech, and I can't wait to get your guys' opinions on this topic. We're also talking about Warner Brothers being up for quote unquote sale to Paramount, and now Netflix is putting their bid in, which I found very interesting. We're going to be reviewing some memes today. I collected a lot of memes for us to go over. Fun stuff. Some of the reaction to Jimmy Kimmel's firing and all the various...
He wasn't fired, bro. Just heads up, just so you know.
Or suspension or whatever. Indefinite suspension, same thing. We're going to be talking about the reaction. There's a lot of reaction to that going on, and just a lot of fun topics. And just to be clear, there's also one thing I teased in SMP, and I'm realizing now, and John knows what I'm talking about, I'm actually not sure we can show this on the public side. And this is not a bait and switch, but when I was playing the preview to make sure John and Shane can see it, I remembered how offensive this was. There's a cartoon sort of snippet that I wanted to show you. It's a perfect example of how the media really acts, like their whole portrayal, the right versus the left, and all this sort of manipulation of the public. And I want you guys to see it really bad, but I almost think that maybe you can't see it on the public side because like for sure the video will be age gated. It literally involves a Trump supporter, a trans, obese, Muslim, and a pro-life, pro-gay Nazi, Anderson Cooper, Hannity, and MSNBC. It's a wild 4 minutes. I'm going to show you guys in the members section, and at the very end of this,
I haven't seen it yet, so I'm not.
Yeah,
sure.
Shane hasn't seen it. I purposely didn't send it to Shane. I want his reaction live.
Oh, that'll be great.
I'm sorry to say, I will tease it at the end, but we are not going to do it public because I realized that if we did it public, the show would be throttled.
Jimmy Kimmel.
We might get Jimmy Kimmel. It's too much. It's too much.
No,
it's not South Park.
Hey, before we get too much into it, too, I just want to ask you guys. We never do this, but we would like to do this. If you guys could do us one favor, please hit the thumbs up button for us. We hear that does really great things for the show. So if you could do that, and we've reached a milestone on our subscriber count. We've finally gone backwards and hit 6,500 subscribers.
Yes.
We've been losing subscribers for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And we've finally reached the milestone of 6,500 again.
Yeah. We went from almost 8,000 to now to 6,500. So
yeah.
All right.
Keep it up, the good work.
Keep them. Yeah, we're going in the right direction.
Hit the thumbs up button. All right. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and there's that new thing too, like I forgot what it was called, Vibe or Hype or whatever. If you have the hype option and you're watching this on archive, do us a favor and hype the video. You know,
whatever that means, but I like it. I like it.
I want to do that thing where I very clearly say the word subscribe. So if you're watching this on, first off, the algorithm sees me saying subscribe, but also
subscribe.
Yes, but also if you're watching this on archive, the subscribe button will light up when you say subscribe.
Subscribe. It almost feels like one of those
subscribe.
Dirty things. Like when you push the button and you're watching like somebody's video and dirty things happen to them. It's like that. Subscribe.
We can see you now.
I'm gonna subscribe so hard.
Subscribe to my channel, baby.
Yes, subscribe all over me.
Your
Matthew
camera is
McGee.
now on.
Matthew McGee lit us up here for $10 right at the beginning of the show. Hey guys, date night for me and the wife. So we'll have to catch you on the replay, but wanted to send some love to you all. Hope you have a great show. Thank you, Matt, you and your lovely wife. We appreciate you guys watching every week, and I hope you have a great date night.
Top guy.
Yeah, we're also going to touch on something that is straight from the UK news. I kept getting fed all this algorithmic
on naked pictures.
Algorithmic feet pictures. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I told you not to tell anyone about them, mate.
John's OnlyFans account. Yes.
Of people in the UK wearing white masks because there's cameras everywhere. I can't wait to hear John's take on this, because I'm like, I guess there's cameras just everywhere in the UK.
Oh, yeah.
Which is wild. All right, so first, though, let's talk about the Jimmy Kimmel thing. Shane, if you would like to fill us in on the whole shebang.
Yeah, because I think the one thing that people are not doing properly is they're not telling the story. So what happens when you get something happens in the world, both political parties line up to start getting credit on and start making points, and everything quickly gets ruined and fabricated, and you don't really know what the truth is. So let's give you the truth. So this past Monday, Jimmy Kimmel decided he was going to come out and say some inflammatory things towards MAGA and Donald Trump. Shocker. He does that almost every show, and he's been doing it for a long time. But this time he took aim sort of at the assassination that happened to Charlie Kirk, and saying that the shooter was MAGA. So he disingenuous. I'm not sure why he said that. Pretty much everybody knew at that point that he wasn't MAGA. So he did that. Anyways, pissed off a whole lot of people since, the country was kind of in this moment of mourning. At least half of the country was, for Charlie Kirk. And the FCC chairman went on to a show, Brendan Carr, and the Benny Johnson show, I think, is the one he was on. And basically the topic came up and said, hey, look, and he kind of threw some like low-level threats, because you can't really lie. I mean, of course, these people are always lying. Media is always lying.
That's all they do.
But he essentially applied a little bit of pressure, kind of saying, the FCC is going to look into this. And he wasn't specific about it, but it was definitely heating stuff up. Well, that was just enough to get the attention of Nexstar Media Group. And Nexstar Media Group owns a whole bunch of ABC affiliate news channels, basically stations. And in fact, it owns the most in the entire country. And they were apparently, the leadership there must have been Charlie Kirk supporters, and they didn't like what Jimmy Kimmel said. So they said, you know what? We're going to go ahead and just pull all of Jimmy Kimmel's the late show, or late night show, or whatever he does. We're going to pull them all, and we're not going to air them on any of our affiliate stations. And that freaked out ABC and Disney, and they went ahead and basically said, all right, Jimmy, you're canceled for now. You're suspended. There are some reports that they basically just want him to apologize, but he will not. He refuses to. But the other thing is that this has been Sherry Redstone, who's basically in charge of one of the biggest media conglomerates in the United States, said that the late shows have been dwindling for years, and they've kind of been looking for excuses to get rid of them anyways. So basically what's happened is, this is, by the way, everybody wants to blame Trump for this. Trump hasn't done anything other than gleefully laughing at what's happened to Jimmy Kimmel after they've gone back and forth so many years. He hasn't said, we're going to cancel you. He hasn't made any threats. This is not some fascist attempt by our president to take down free speech. Just that's what everybody keeps saying. It's essentially pressure being placed by a company because you said something that was unfavorable in a very difficult time for the country, for people who were mourning, and you pissed off your boss. And now you're being suspended with pay at one of your 4 houses in the country, and you're just fucking fine. But you know,
yeah. Well,
just say
so he has the right to say whatever he wants. He has the right to free speech. He doesn't have the right to a TV show. He doesn't have the right to a TV show. That's how it works. Also, I think this is actually partly a play for sort of a morals clause where they don't even have to negotiate with him for his re-up next year. I think they were planning on probably canceling his show anyways, because the show ahead of him, Stephen Colbert, was canceled for not making any money. So if the second, if the second most popular one, is also, obviously Jimmy Kimmel's not making no money. So I doubt his show was long for this world anyways, because his contract's up next year. So hey, what they do? They get to skip a bunch of renegotiation nonsense, skip a bunch of outward payments and golden parachute nonsense. They make some money, and everyone but the liberals are happy.
Yeah. And just so you know, go ahead, John, give us your thoughts, but I want to also explain what this has sparked.
Yeah, I mean, for me, again, it's a classic example of somebody that is being held to account for his actions. He knowingly went on there and spread misinformation. And I looked up the FCC documents yesterday and the regulations, and it was saying there about misinformation, political misinformation, and that's what he did. He went on there and effectively tried to tell you that the guy that had killed Charlie Kirk was a MAGA Republican, essentially. So I've seen, I laugh at some of these people that are going doing the rounds about, free speech is under attack, and they're all going on their chat shows and talking about it. For me, no, it's not under attack. For me, regardless, we talked about this last week, and I think you brought it up, Shane, as well, about the fact that they're finding out on the left side now what they have been doing for several years. It's now coming back to bite them, and they were laughing at the time. Exactly. And it's never right on either side, but I hope now that there's going to be some more control over it, because from when I was reading those regs of the FCC, it seems like the regs have always been there, but it seems people have been very lenient to actually enforce those regs over the years. Now, maybe you're going to see it, but what you don't want to have in the future is a tit for tat between, whoever's in power.
Well, that's a problem.
Decade after decade.
They weren't lenient. They were lenient on left-wing people. They were lenient on people that were supporting the message, the narrative, but they weren't lenient on anyone on the other side. And so now, and here we go, the right's in power. But once again, this is sort of a false equivalent, because he actually wasn't. First off, the Trump administration and the FCC had nothing to do with him being removed. Nothing.
Say that again?
The FCC had nothing to do with him being suspended.
Well, a little bit they did. They did, because the FCC chair went on and said the companies, basically what he said is look, the companies that work for Charlie Kirk, that basically own Jimmy Kimmel, they need to do something about this, or the FCC might need to apply pressure. Now, I'm not saying that was the reason why Nexstar did what they did, because I think they were already irritated and pissed off about it.
Right.
But it was definitely got ABC's up. So the mistake the FCC chair made is, because he's appointed by Trump, it gives the look by him saying this that he's playing favorites.
Right, but the government moves slow. So I guess the only thing that they were responsible for in this was going on a podcast and saying they might do something.
Right.
So this is, but regardless, I made it clear on the SMP too. I think that the FCC should not have this much power. Even though the government moves slow and there's going to be a bunch of regulations, I don't like the fact that they can pressure people with hearings to remove people that they don't agree with. I don't like the FCC having this power. But the problem is, the left have been wielding this power for the last 25 years negatively. So now we're on the right hand, and the right hand is threatening to do the same thing. I don't agree with it regardless. The FCC should be there to protect freedom of speech, not to punish freedom of speech. But here we are. Either way, this had nothing to do with Jimmy Kimmel was going to be gone next April anyways.
Well, I think the right word here is, and I'm going to let you go here, John, right now. The right word here is hypocrisy. So that should be the word of the week. So Jimmy Kimmel is a hypocrite. One of the reasons I don't like, I used to love Jimmy Kimmel. Loved him. When he was attached to the NFL, he was doing the Man Show. Loved Jimmy Kimmel. And I liked him when he first started doing his talk show. I watched him. But what happened is he was essentially just a regular dude, not worried about, whether he was politically correct and just kind of being a dude. And then all of a sudden, when he got popular and he got a show and he started getting in these little bubble groups with these left-wing freaks in Hollywood, all of a sudden he became like a left-wing activist. It's weird and we've kind of documented this over the years as this has happened, but that's hypocrisy. Well, that's first word, hypocrisy. Next one. Where were you when Gina Carano was getting canceled for her tweets? Where were you when Roseanne Barr was losing her show because of comments that she made? Where were you when Dowd was canceled from the news media? So, cry me a fucking river, but everybody is now up on their pedestal for the left wing saying, oh God, free speech. Well, where were you when these people didn't have their free speech? Go ahead, John.
Excellent points you've made there. I think for me, from seeing the reactions the last few days to this Jimmy Kimmel stuff, is the fact that I actually think it shows again that in the long run that these left idiots, they're going to lose because they're showing themselves who they are. You've just had a 31-year-old man killed in front of his wife and kids. Curtains, just nothing said at all. But the second one of their own is taken off the air for some controversial things he said, suddenly it's the end of the world. Free speech is being taken away. The thing is, my view is, I actually think that the longer they behave in this way, and I think they're going to continue to do it, because I'm at the point now where I think a leopard can't change its spots. I think that the voters are seeing through them now 100%, and they're not going to vote for these people because they're seeing how they act, how they behave. And I can see that, Republicans or whoever is on that right-leaning side sticking around in power for quite a long time, because these people are just, they've got no morals by everything that I see. There's a right and wrong in life. I'm waffling a bit, but there's a right and wrong. They don't seem to have that inside of them. It's quite disturbing.
Yeah, well, I think you're right. I think this Charlie Kirk thing probably sparked an entire generation to make sure they voted for J.D. Vance in 3 years. But that's why I think that response to the Jimmy Kimmel suspension was so extreme and organized and perfectly executed, was to try to detract from Charlie Kirk and try to make Jimmy Kimmel their martyr. They're trying to distract from Charlie Kirk and once again manipulate the news media. Once again manipulate the American people into maintaining their power grip.
Yeah, and also just $10 super chat from Kenneth LaRoque here. I want to thank you so much, Ken, and we're going to get to your other super chat here when this segment's over. But he has a really good point here, and this is something I didn't mention. Nexstar was being pressured by their advertisers. Nexstar has, thank you so much for that, Ken. He's absolutely right. Nexstar is a Bible Belt, a lot of the Bible Belt area advertisers for those local affiliate companies. And those advertisers were, they're Christians. They're backing Charlie Kirk. They're supporting that. So, of course, they're going to apply pressure. And let me tell you, that's how it always goes, right? The fear of losing money is usually what happens, which is why you had all these left-wing activists prior to COVID. Remember, cancel culture came out and started, they're lining up their troops and they're getting, well, guess what? The right can do that too, guys. They can also rally up their troops but that's what it's all about. So freedom of speech, if you want to know who's really responsible for freedom of speech here, it's ABC and Disney. If they wanted to pull up their big boy pants and say, we're not taking Jimmy Kimmel off the air. We're going to go freedom. He has the right to say what he wants. And we're going to back that up. But of course they don't, because they don't want people boycotting. So that is everyday Americans' freedom of speech, their right to boycott. So when you're going to sit here and talk about, oh, it's censorship. No, it's society regulating itself. Okay. And you got to have the balls to stand up and do the right thing. And unfortunately, most companies don't do that.
Yeah. You're completely right. It's also their right, though, to not have Jimmy Kimmel on the air anymore.
Absolutely.
And their reasoning can be whatever they want it to be. They again, Jimmy Kimmel has the right to freedom of speech. It's God-given. We all have that right. No one has the right to a TV show or a platform paid for by someone else. That's not how the world works. So, if his platform, if his bosses no longer want to work with him because maybe the juice is no longer worth the squeeze, maybe it hasn't ever been. Maybe Jimmy never made money, but maybe they got a high enough ESG score with his philandering and message supporting that maybe it was worth it, but now it's not. So guess what? Adios, Jimmy.
Early on, he was worth it. Okay, early on, everybody was watching Kimmel. He was funny. Like I know that I'm black-pilled on this guy so bad right now, but if the first several years he was doing his show, I was actually watching late night again because I enjoyed his takes until they became political, and that's turned me off completely. Same thing.
I would also say, guys, a lot of these people that are now supporting it, I bet they never watched Jimmy Kimmel. It's just the dog whistle's gone up, and it's like, right, that's the call to charge, isn't it? And that's it. They're on the bandwagon.
I don't know, man. It's almost impossible not to see Jimmy Kimmel because I can't watch a video without it auto playing some Jimmy Kimmel or that other guy, John Oliver clip. It's nuts on YouTube.
Small mercies for the online safety bill in the UK, then, that I don't get to see it.
Oh, good for you. Hey, I have something to show you guys real quick. Check this out. You guys recognize this guy, Shane?
Yeah, I do actually.
Okay, so MSNBC. I'm gonna show you Chris Hayes. We're gonna show you some next level hypocrisy in action. You ready?
ABC made the announcement Kimmel would indeed be taken off the air indefinitely. And this is just the latest chapter in Donald Trump's ongoing campaign to crack down on free speech, dominate the media, and essentially render the First Amendment meaningless. So it was for the journeyman cable news host Tucker Carlson, just fired from his third network. He believed he could say anything, no matter how vile, no matter how disgusting, no matter how offensive, no matter how dehumanizing or belittling. And if you act like a sociopath over and over and over and over, you will become unpopular on the national stage. That's just like a basic principle. Over time.
There you go. So, when Tucker Carlson was fired, this guy was like, obviously, he's saying things that people don't agree with. He's bad for his business. But when Jimmy Kimmel was fired, it's a attack on free speech. It's the Trump administration trying to be fascist. All right, dude.
And you know what the shame of the whole thing is? What's sad? So Jimmy does his show on Monday, right? And Monday is when he does it. Sunday is when we learn that that it was actually a politically motivated murder assassination, right? So Sunday, kind of late day, we find out. Monday he does his show, and pretty much everybody knows at this point that he was, left wing, had a trans boyfriend or whatever, or had a roommate that was trans, right? The shame of it is
his boyfriend for sure.
Okay, well, at that time they were calling him a roommate. They hadn't said boyfriend yet.
That's true.
So, but what's funny is I bet you anything that these lazy fuckers over at that show wrote up this material on like Friday, right? And when he showed up at the show, he's busy doing his stupid shit all day, not paying attention to what the fuck's going on, and then said what he said. Now, I'm not saying Jimmy Kimmel wouldn't lie intentionally. He might. But the reality is that they should have known there would be consequences to lying or to saying the exact wrong thing on air. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if there was a whole bunch of laziness going on with that.
Competence.
One thing about that, though, is like they were citing the FCC rules for purposely misleading the American people, dangerous speech, et cetera, like these rules right here. Let me show you guys. The problem I have with this, and I don't want to beat a dead horse here, dude, but like, who gets to decide what is indecent? Who gets to decide what is a hoax? Who gets to decide what is misinformation? Who gets to decide, if someone was lying or they weren't? How would they even know? Who gets to decide what is news distortion? I don't like these words. They are blurry, obscenely broad terms that can be interpreted by whatever person's in power at the time. I don't like it. That's authoritative. And I know it's not the Trump administration that did this. This has been here for the last 22 years, but it's still obscene.
Listen, the FCC has been our regulator for all time. This is how we protected children. This is how we made sure that there wasn't the wrong stuff on television. There's a moral correctness to having the FCC make the determination. The problem is now in a free information society, this is outdated. Right now, we don't know. And I think that's part of the problem. We don't know who's in charge of telling us what we can and can't do. And it's almost gotten to the part it's almost got us to anarchy in some way. It's almost got us to chaos.
Well, we gave them more power, though, in the late 80s, Shane. They did get more power because of the Howard Stern era.
Well, it was because of Reagan, actually. Reagan signed they tightened they tightened what you could, because they were
but it was used as a bludgeoning tool against Howard Stern 10 years later.
Right. Well, Howard Stern broke it open, but the specific reason the FCC was given more power was because they were putting stuff on kids shows that you couldn't have, like smoking commercials and shit that was bad for
and
kids.
That's the kind of stuff that should be protected, right?
Right.
Yeah, and
that's where it came from.
For me, it should be on the companies. You're employing this guy, or these people. They're your employees. If they're crossing a line that you don't find as acceptable, you bring them into line, not the FCC. That's right. How it should be. That's the same as me working my job. If I step out of line, you bet your bottom dollar my boss is bringing me in on Monday morning and he's slapping me down. That's how it should work.
Right.
But
John,
again,
stop writing anti-trans things on your public window.
John, stop showing your feet on OnlyFans. Come on now, calm it down.
John, you're clearly wearing the company's shirt in your OnlyFans photos.
And if you're wrong, if your boss is wrong, you get to sue your boss. I mean, there's checks and balances for everything here. I would like to say, before we get too far and before people start saying, "Oh, you guys are one-sided," blah, blah, blah. You supported Gina Carano. Listen, I support Jimmy Kimmel saying every fucking thing he said on his show.
Whatever he wants to say.
I let him say whatever he wants. That is America, and I do think he should be able to say it. Now he's got to stick to the whatever restrictions that our laws have. But like I think Kenneth mentioned earlier, if he'd been on Hulu or one of the streaming services, he could say anything he wants without FCC interference. So I believe in free.
Right.
I believe in free speech, and I don't think that he should be canceled because of his free speech. But fuck around and find out with your employer, man. And that's all I'm going to say about it.
Yeah. He should say whatever he wants. He has the right to say whatever retarded nonsense he wants. He doesn't have the right to a TV show on public broadcasting. If he wants to be John Oliver, then go to cable. Make a little less money, because guess what? He would make less money. At this point, it actually costs Disney about a little less than $1 a person for Jimmy Kimmel to be on the air, instead of making them $1 a person. So really, it's not about what he said. It's about Disney, ABC utilizing this awesome opportunity to deal with a money suck. And it's been a money suck for years.
100%. You're right.
And do you know what really irritated me today? And I don't even live in California, but I saw the tweet from Gavin Newsom about basically saying, freedom of speech is under attack. And I was thinking, aren't you the guy that were taking people off of the beaches during lockdown and stopping them from surfing? Aren't you the guy that were closing businesses during that time, and then you went off to Disneyland? Isn't that you?
Shutting down restaurants, but you going to restaurants with your friends?
No, he had his own. His restaurant was open while everyone else's restaurant was shut down, which is wild to me. He has his own wine tasting
Yeah, it's called
restaurant.
the French something
This-
or other. Yeah.
This goes back to what I was saying a few minutes back. I really hope we are getting into an era though where there is accountability. You can say what you want, but there is accountability for what you've said in your actions. Because, as we were saying last week, you have politicians even after what has happened to Charlie Kirk, rest his soul. They're still coming out and they're still saying dog whistle things to rile people up. Now, there should be a consequence to that. And as I said last week, the trouble we've got it here, you've got it there. These people are in areas where they're never going to get voted out by the other party because gerrymandering, the works. I don't know the ins and outs of how your political system, but that's what I've seen skimming it.
Hey, John,
that's the trouble.
No one does. It's massively corrupt.
Yeah, although California is trying to cheat right now. They're trying to pass Proposition 50, which allows them to gerrymander even more. So if you look at a map, right, well, what should it be? Your county, right? It should be a block like of voters, right? But what they've got is they've got a little block here and then a little wing that goes out here and grabs a bunch of certain kind of voters and goes over here. I mean, it's obvious bullshit. I don't know how they allow this to happen.
Yeah, I've never understood the gerrymandering. Like, why isn't it just this county, that county, this county? Like, there should be no lines being drawn by whatever party's in charge at the time. That's silly.
It's just power. It's corruption. It's corruption 101, isn't it?
100%, and it's obvious corruption. You can look at a map and go, well, "That's fucking stupid."
Yeah, that's
dumb.
Yeah. All right. So we got a couple of super chats, and we're gonna get to the next topic. First off, I want to thank Kenneth the Rogue, super producer extraordinaire. The
he
man,
done it again?
The myth, the legend, dropping a $50 check. He just said,
burger.
No comment. Just here you go.
That's gangster. That's gangster.
So
Thank
gangster.
You, Ken.
Thank you, Ken. You're the man,
Canadian
bro.
gangster right there.
I've got an image of Ken where he's going down a town in like his car and he's just throwing money out of the windows, like that, just
absolute gangster.
Just baller.
Thank you, Ken. You are a BAMF. I appreciate your support, my friend. Also, Penny for 10 months. Let's go.
What?
Brian, create a filter lie detector for your AI. I have one. It doesn't work that great though.
Hey, whatever happened to our AI?
No. What are you talking about? Kai was going to be on the show today, but I couldn't get the camera for her. So Kai should be here next week. We're going to have our newest producer. She's not going to talk very much, but she's going to be on the corner helping me manage the stream because now that we have more, 3 people on the stream, it's a lot of effort. So Kai will be here next week. She was going to be here this week, but I ran out of time because I'm in the middle of editing a documentary for the podcast. But she should be here. She's
already reprimanded me throughout the week off cam as well. So
you're enjoying the hell out of that, aren't you?
Yeah, she's basically just dominating John. John, you have to read the articles, John. And John's like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I've been walking with a limp all week.
Call her Mistress Kai. Maybe we could get away with that.
Anyways, Kai will be here next week. By the way, if you guys ever want to, someone said your panel is too ugly, so we brought in an attractive producer just for you guys. Our own version of X-Wing Girl or X-Girl or whatever her name is. X-Ray Girl.
X-Ray Girl.
Jeremiah Hambry, member for 1 month. Thank you, Jeremiah. Thanks for being a member, dude. Thank you for supporting us. It's our members are the reason we do the show every week. Aside from we like to actually get together and bullshit, but like the reason we broadcast it is because of your guys' support.
No, listen, there were weeks we were just going to quit. If it wasn't for you guys.
There were entire weeks where we were just like, I don't want to do this.
Why are we doing this?
I don't want to do this today.
Yeah.
Oh, there's people who still want to hear us.
But people are there. So Jeremiah Hambry says, even for children's cartoons, we have standards and practices that had a list of things they couldn't do. Correct.
Yes.
Which is why when I show you guys the teaser at the end of the show for the cartoon we're going to cover in the members section, you're going to ask yourself, how the F did they put that on television?
Yeah.
Well, I would also say with your FCC, I wish we had our Ofcom at the same level as your FCC, because our Ofcom has been completely captured by the liberal side. So you've got kids programs going out now of all kinds of trans ideology, you know, for toddlers. They've just basically kowtowed to it essentially. So I'm glad that at least there is still a control, by the sounds of it, over in the US, that the FCC is stopping that and protecting kids. That's how it should be.
I mean, kids don't need to know anything about sexuality until they're older. Okay, look, they don't need to know anything about who's having sex with who.
No one should be teaching your kids about the birds and the bees, but you.
Amen.
It's wild that someone had this hair up their ass. Like, we need to make sure everyone knows. No. Why are you even involved in someone else's kids? First off, it's suspect that you are so concerned with someone else's children. That's suspect, bro. But worse that you have the hubris to believe that you are the arbiter for what someone should know or not know. Fuck off.
You know better than their parents. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know better than their parents what's best for them. Woo, dog.
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. That the last monstrosity that was Doctor Who this season, they brought in a writer for that who is a trans activist who wrote a novel that got banned in Ireland, which basically it was written for kids, and it gave the locations to go to meet gay men.
What? Really?
Yeah, and that got banned in Ireland, and the producer of Doctor Who brought him in to write an episode of Doctor Who. And yet that's how bad it is over in the UK.
Wow.
Yeah,
I feel bad for you guys, man. I mean, we complain a lot here, but really it's a tragedy what's happening in your country, bro.
Well, we've got dinghies coming in. I'm going to be on a dinghy heading to you guys.
Yeah, and then we're all going to have to go create our own little country somewhere. Get away from this.
Hey, from Karen, he says, free speech is in the Constitution, guaranteed to be heard isn't. Amen to that, bro.
Amen to that.
Also, Rec Dots, member for 22 months. Let's go, Rec.
What up, Rec?
Just saying hi. God bless, bros. Thank you, my dude. And one more thing from Karen at the Rogue that I wanted to address. Attractive producer, then you keep her off screen. Don't worry, she'll be on screen next week. I have to get a new camera. I have to get a second camera.
Listen, Brian has to blow her up, guys. Brian has to blow her up. It's taking some time. We'll get her there.
He's gone through 5. He's gone through 5 puncture repair kits already this week.
That's funny. That's pretty funny.
She's a little deflated today. She can't make it.
All right, guys. We're talking about the new H-1B1, and I know this is sort of a boring topic, but I did want to address it as quick as possible before we get to the next thing. So, Trump signed an executive order that basically means, and I'll just let you guys watch the video real quick. It's like 45 seconds. Here we go.
What are you doing? Okay. What are you doing? No! No! Listen to me! No! No! No!
That's such a good job.
You will go to jail now. What are you doing?
Okay, I had to do that. So Trump signed an executive order. So it's going to cost $100,000 if you want to hire someone from another country who's not a citizen, right? As an employee, you want to bring them over here from like India to be a coder at OpenAI. It's going to cost that business $100,000.
By the way, it's not per individual.
No.
So I think that's a fee for the business to have H-1B.
It's an annual fee for the business to have H-1B. Yeah. So the thing is, a lot of people are sort of like pissed off about this. And I'm going to ask you the question. Why?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you why. Because they're liberals.
Right. But you live here.
They're pissed off about everything.
Right. Like you live here. Why are you mad about Americans getting hired over someone from another country? I can't, I don't understand the logic. Is the logic just like
the quest?
Orange Man says something bad, it's bad. Like,
right.
It's the fight is the fight. That's what it's about, isn't it? It doesn't matter anymore whether it makes common sense or not. They have to fight in their lane.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, this is only good. It's anti-corporate corporate corruption, and it's pro-American. So, and there's no other way to see it other than that. So I don't know what either you don't know what you're talking about, you don't see what's actually happening, or you just like are so blinded with TDS that like the guy can save a puppy and you can be mad. No, kill the puppy. I don't know.
Well, let's talk about why they did it, right? So here's kind of the rationale behind it. So one company, I guess that is still unnamed, approved 5,189 H-1B worker visas in 2025, just this year, while at the same time laying off 16,000 Americans. So and these are people who are coming to our country from other countries to work, and they're basically just trying to pay them less. So we're going to pay all these people minimum wage while we lay off these people making 25, 30 bucks an hour. That's essentially what they're doing. So what Trump's trying to do here is he's trying to say, listen, we're not going to make it easy for you to just replace workers and do that. So I think it's a really good move. And if our job numbers don't start going up soon, I'm going to start wondering, because we're deporting people who shouldn't be here. We're making the H-1B visas more difficult. Our numbers should be going up. People should be getting hired.
Yeah, Ken asked a good question. What about those YouTubers that have people from other countries working for them? So it's a difference when you hire people to do a job versus them becoming an employee. So we used to have a guy from Nepal helping us code one of our websites. Great guy. One of my favorite people. He wasn't paid as an employee. He was paid to do a job. It was
it's specifically though, Brian, coming to this country.
Right.
So you can still have electronic jobs. You can hire people overseas. That's not a problem if you're doing electronic work that way. And this is why every company has call centers in other countries. As long as they're not coming to the United States and taking away jobs that are physical jobs for people, that's a problem. Now, if this continues, could you see them trying to put some border barriers up and not letting us hire people from other countries? Yeah, because what's going to happen is every single job that's electronic is going to be sent offshore someplace. You know, how much was, without getting too specific, Brian, I mean, you save a lot of money by hiring somebody who works
that guy was like, I think it was like $7 an hour, when a coder here would have been like $25 an hour,
Right. And so small businesses,
on average,
aren't going to make it.
The thing is, though, it's unenforceable. Trying to get people to not, it's a completely, unless you want to somehow lock down digital payment methods, you would have to live in such an authoritarian state to actually somehow enforce people not hiring people from other countries for digital jobs. It's not possible.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but there's a difference, though, between a corporation, see, a small business paying some guy on PayPal to help them build their website. It's completely different than a corporation hiring people, bringing them here to work in call centers here in the middle of Michigan somewhere. Totally different thing, you guys.
Well, it's even more than that. And John, I know you're trying to pop in just real quick. Even more than that, it's companies like Google and some of these other giant companies bringing in coders, and this is a talent that people have all over the world that Americans also do. They can bring coders in from the Philippines and India, pay them a fraction by living over here, and then not hire Americans for those jobs. So that's even more than call centers. It's actually high tech jobs where they're bringing in people and laying off others. Go ahead, John.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to give an example in the UK where you've got a cruise line called P&O Ferries. And basically, within about half an hour, a couple of years ago, they basically told the entire staff they were all being made redundant. And what they did is they basically re-employed them, but through an agency that was with their salaries being incredibly cheaper than what they were paying them before.
Right.
So they had no choice. They needed a job, but they put them on there. So they had foreign employees that came in and the existing employees that knocked down salaries. So, I bet that is going on quite a lot in the US as well, with shady corporations playing games like that. No doubt about it.
Yeah, and they're following the laws. People are going to tell you that Trump hired H-1B visa workers. He did. He did, just like he'll tell you he didn't pay taxes if he didn't have to, because that's the way our laws are written. So they got to change the laws in order to make them better.
You'd be a pretty bad businessman if you didn't utilize the loopholes in the tax system.
Right. And one other thing, it's not just Americans that are being hurt. Kenneth actually made a good point here. G7G have Canadian working for them who is in the US. It is other, like say Canadians or people from the UK or other countries where they get paid a respectable wage that also come over here and work. They're going to lose their jobs too to people who will take $12, $15 an hour to do work, which is double, triple what they're making in their country.
100%.
Someone actually asked a good question. How will this affect Dota 2? I'll tell you. Valve first off can afford the fee to hire, but also, surprisingly enough, only 8% of Valve employees are H1B1 employees. Even though they're a multi-international company and the CEO literally lives in like Sweden, most of their employees are actually homegrown Americans. So Valve is one of those unique companies that they make so much bloody money that they can afford to be, to lose it. They can afford to be, strict with their values. And that includes, we're just not going to have that game on our platform. We don't want to make that anymore. They're not motivated by money because they make so much of it. Imagine making so much money, you're no longer motivated by money as a business. That's
Elon
Valve.
Musk.
Yeah.
That'd be nice, man.
Yeah, Costco's like that in the United States as well. So Costco has such a good foundation to how they run their businesses that they pay like really good money, and they can afford, because they're so successful, to pay more, do more. I mean, that's the way corporations should be ran. Is successful corporations should pay people more. The world would be a better place.
Yeah, check us out. Valve, 2017, they hired one H1B1. In 2018, they hired 2. In 2019, 2. In 2022, 1. In 2023 and 2024, 0. Which means that they have hundreds and hundreds of employees, and they've hired a maximum of 2 employees a year with using the H1B1 system.
Brian, who slipped you a $5 to talk about Valve? I'm just curious.
I don't know who I actually don't know who Dringo is, but he brought it up.
So Dringo is Brian's alt.
It's not my alt account.
Yeah.
Dringo, back me up, bro. I don't know. Tell him I don't know who you are. Okay.
Tell us what we wouldn't know about Brian. Go ahead.
There's a Valve guy in a suit stood just off cam by Brian.
It's Gavin. He's literally holding me hostage right now
with his perks pack ready to hand out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. Thank you so much, Gavin. I love you too.
I'm so surprised that Brian never did a Valve or Dota podcast. I'm really surprised you didn't, dude, because you eat and live that stuff.
Yeah, well,
he's gone.
My favorite
He's
thing.
gone Garth.
I think Valve might be one of the greatest success stories in American history. And they've managed to never go public because they make so much money. They've taken over the supply chain. That not only were they one of the best developers, but they were like, you know what? We're tired of trying to sell our stuff at Best Buy and Walmart. We're just going to make our own platform. You can buy it there. Every single time they ran into some kind of throttling or bottleneck, they just created their own platform or created their own solution and completely avoided everyone. They've taken over the industry to the point where they are completely untouchable. It's a beautiful thing to see.
Excellent. All right. This H1B visa thing to death.
So that's H1B1. Let's talk about Warner Brothers, Shane and John.
They're a very confusing company.
So this is actually, I want to hear you guys' take on this because this is actually very interesting. What's happening is, first off, I invested in Warner Brothers at like $8. I'm very happy to say.
By the way.
Yep. So I'm happy to say that I have dramatically but I obviously don't have a lot of money, so I didn't invest a ton of money. I bought 25, 30 shares or something like that. But regardless, that money has now gone up 150%, which is great. Well, what's happening is the company is probably going to split. They're going to split their their company into two companies. One handling, film and HBO Max, and one handling whatever. And I don't know all the details of the split, but that's going to happen. More than likely, it's going to happen. Zaslav was pretty clear on that. What I think's happening, and Shane, you can tell me if I'm dead wrong. This is my opinion. I think that they are trying to inflate the stock price as much as possible prior to a stock split, so that when the stock does split, we end up with the stock price around the same as what its normal average is.
I mean, I would agree with you if the stock price was a lot higher. Typically, the reason why stock splits occur is so that people don't get priced. The average person doesn't get priced out of buying a share of stock, and Warner Brothers just isn't. I think what's it at right now? 20 something.
It's at $20, but when a company splits into two companies, doesn't the stock have to split?
No, it depends on the company.
Right.
So if you're like Warner Brothers Discovery was two independent companies, which is why there were two stocks. Warner Brothers itself is just one company. If they split themselves into two, which I'm not exactly sure how they would do that, then possibly. But I don't see them trying to push up the stock. I think the reason why they're doing it is because they think someone's going to buy Warner Brothers. And so that's why the stock price is going up, because if it does, then it's going to get a higher valuation.
I just smell something a little weird, because if you're trying to, so first off, WBD, it's so weird, by the way. You have Warner Brothers, now you have Warner Brothers Discovery, and now they're trying to make Warner Brothers Discovery Paramount. At what point does this become another failed KFC, Taco Bell, fucking McRib combination restaurant that no one wants to eat at? There needs to be competition. We can't have just a bunch of merging of businesses. I don't like it. It stinks of Idiocracy, by the way. Like, remember Idiocracy? I was like, brought to you by Taco Bell, Mountain Dew, and Monsanto. You're like, what? The thing is this, I don't think Paramount first can even afford Warner Brothers. And True. I know they're saying that Paramount wants to buy it, or Skydance wants to buy it before it splits, before the company splits into two. But that just means it's more expensive. I smell a little bit of.
You're saying it's splitting. It's Discovery's going to go on its own again. Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah. The split is. It's so confusing. But there is I'll tell you right now where it is. The split is between its film division,
and TV.
Yeah. Two separate companies. Warner Brothers, company focusing on the studios and streaming, and Discovery Global, company for its linear TV network. So basically,
look at this as like your car being parted. So what we're talking about here is you're selling your car for parts. So if you're going to split them off, there might be more value to sell things separately than to sell them all together.
Right. So one will be streaming and the studios and streaming. So Superman, DC Studios, all that, movies and streaming basically. And the other one will be terrestrial networks. So basically exactly what Discovery Global was before they joined with Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
But what David Zaslav is doing, this is actually really impressive. He's offloading a bunch of debt that Warner Brothers has onto the failing, rotten Discovery brand. So when they do actually split this, he offloads a bunch of the debt that Warner Brothers had before the merge back onto Discovery, let Discovery sort of limp along, but then Warner Brothers comes out the other side as a lean, mean fighting machine with 8 successful movies this year so far, and multiple franchises and HBO Max in its belt. I mean, it's a huge, big deal.
Of course, why wouldn't you shed the shit? But the problem is these other companies aren't stupid. And if Netflix, and I think this is what your article's about right now, Netflix, the rumor that Netflix might try to buy Warner Brothers.
That's the next part of this is like Netflix basically jumped into the fray, and this is coming from
rumors.
This is totally a rumor, but to be fair, Puck has been pretty spot on. When it comes to journalists and when it comes to the industry leaks, Puck doesn't just throw this is not GFR. This is not Daniel Rickman, right?
Right.
This is not Daniel RBK. Puck is legitimate. And so when they say that Netflix is trying to throw their hat in the ring and also bid on Warner Brothers, first thing,
they're evaluating.
Or they're considering. But there's no bids happening right now.
Right. Well, what they're saying is they're So what he's heard from a Hollywood source, unnamed Hollywood source, is that Netflix is evaluating whether they might want to bid on it. So it's not even. I mean, it's just got to be really careful about the fact that Netflix is just trying to think about would we want to buy it. I mean, honestly, Netflix and Amazon probably the only two companies that could buy them.
Yeah, they're only looking for it. But this is important. They're considering the bid. But there's no bids right now. Even Paramount isn't bidding. There is no actual confirmation that Warner Brothers is even entertaining the idea of a Skydance or Paramount merge. So this is all fairy dust right now.
Yeah, of course.
But it's helping the stock price. Sorry, go ahead, John.
But isn't the guy who is now running Paramount, his daddy is effectively, he's one of the richest guys in the world now, isn't he? Is that right?
I guess he can go to his family for money.
So he could do that again. He's not going to buy it outright, is he? He's going to get finance on that deal if he went for it. But again, I don't want either of these companies getting hold of Warner Bros. Because I shudder to think. I mean, just look at Disney. I miss the days when I had movies being made by Fox. I had everything wasn't backed up into Disney because Disney put their what I call their tint on everything they do now.
Their stink.
Yeah, exactly that. Stink. And Netflix, yeah, they've had some hits with things, but I haven't watched a Netflix show in a long time.
I don't want Netflix buying Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is probably the most storied studio of all time. Netflix should not be anywhere near it. It needs to be its own. It should not be purchased by anyone.
We would get, full well, the day that Netflix bought Warner Bros., they'd announce a new Batwoman series. That's how bad it would be.
Right. The problem with this is what the way I see it. It's like some crunchy vegan restaurant buying the oldest steakhouse in Texas. The way I see Netflix purchasing Warner Brothers is some new, hip, message-ridden bullshit. Purchasing one of the longest-running, most storied studios of all time is just, it feels wrong. It feels gross to me.
This is never going to happen, by the way. So, look, Netflix doesn't need to buy. Netflix is the boss of streaming. Netflix is... they're basically in charge of streaming. They don't need Warner Brothers. The people who log in and watch Netflix are quite happy getting their, $50,000 made TV shows, 8-part series, and Netflix making, millions off of it. Their model is so locked in that they just don't need to buy Warner Brothers. It almost feels like, and I'm not saying Puck is that nobody's wrong or that, oh yeah, I heard somebody might be, considering it. It's just, sure, maybe they're thinking about it, maybe they're evaluating it, but why take on the burden of Warner Brothers, which has a lot of success, but also has a lot of failure? Why take that on your shoulders when your company is kicking ass? Stock price is higher than it's pretty much almost ever been, and it's just owning the space. Why dirty the waters?
Right.
So I don't see that happening.
It gives them a nice little stock bump potentially as well with all of this gossip going around as well, doesn't it?
I mean, it does, but they're rocking, dudes. Netflix is it's like 300. What is Netflix share price right now? It's like ridiculous.
Well, I mean, it was much better when I bought it the first time.
$1,200 a share.
Yeah.
By the way,
I lost money on Netflix.
And here's how stupid it is. Like when Netflix was crashing in 2022, I'm like, it makes sense to me because I've never understood Netflix model. I still don't understand how it's successful, frankly speaking. I think most of it's trash.
Just subscribers continually giving you billions and billions of dollars a month.
They have locked into the young generation. Every look of any streaming service, like Netflix, has locked in.
Yeah, you have to have a Netflix account. You have to. It's every family has a Netflix account.
I personally don't have to have a Netflix account, but I have kids. So
right, that's the problem. Yes. The problem is almost every household is sort of like, it's almost like a utility now. It's like the household needs a Netflix account.
Which is what Disney Plus should have been, and why we put our money there instead of Netflix.
Yeah, Disney Plus should have owned that space.
What's like in the UK? You know, you got cable and you've got Sky, and basically Sky now and Virgin Media, who do the cable, they will basically build in Netflix to your package, so you haven't even got to pay for it now. It's just locked in as part of the subscription deal with those companies. They're starting to do it more with Paramount. So yeah, you know, Netflix are loving it, aren't they?
Let me tell you something. The bundles are insidious, because what they're trying to do is they're going to try to make it. The reason why bundles exist, guys. I know what you think. Oh, well, I save a little bit of money if I bundle all these services together with my Prime or my HBO Max or whatever. What they're doing is they're making it harder for you to cancel individual services.
Locking you in.
They're locking you in.
Yeah.
Now, if I didn't do this job, if I didn't have kids and a wife, I would not have Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max. For me, it makes sense to bundle those things. If I did not, though, have a family, I would not bundle Disney and Hulu. I would just have HBO Max. That's all I would have. So the bundle thing is trying to make it so that you have a harder time. It's called waterfalling your individual services, and then turning it off when there's nothing to watch, and turning it on a couple months later when there's a new show or movie. They don't want you to do that anymore. So you bundle, and guess what? Now the services are sort of like haphazardly, what's the word? Staggering their release dates so that you never really want to cancel anything. Right.
Yeah, that's well said.
And I did.
Real quick, Kenneth threw up for $5 because you were talking about this, John. You mentioned the guy with all the money. They're offering cash. The father just earned an extra $100 billion last week. Check VR. I'm assuming that's Skydance buying Paramount. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all I would say, Ken, if that dad wants to invest in the BRANE Show, by all means, come across to us, give us a check. We've got no morals here. We'll take the money. We'll drive Jags. We don't care. Not pink Jags, old Jags.
You'd be surprised what I would do for $100 million. I mean,
you'd be surprised we do for $100.
$100. I mean, it's actually obscene. I'm embarrassed and ashamed of myself just thinking about the things I would do.
Yeah.
For such a little amount of money.
He's not lying, everyone. I've seen the archive videos. It's not good.
Oh, bro. All right. By the way, thank you for that, Ken. I appreciate it, man. All right. Let's. Brian said last month they would start requiring a 3-month subscription too. Yes, that's actually a thing. They're trying to get you to go, well, you can save 13 cents and you subscribe 3 months at a time. Well, that's what they're doing now. But wait until that's the actual model where you can't do monthly. You can only subscribe for 3 months at a time. They're making it impossible for you to waterfall or be shrewd with your money.
And another pet hate of mine as well is how difficult it is to cancel it, because when you go to cancel it, you sure you want to go? You've got all of these shows available to you.
Oh, they also go, well,
yes, I want to go.
Hey, we'll give you a free month if you stick. They want you to forget that you did it. Yeah. Guess what, guys? I got to tell you, piracy is making a huge comeback right now because it used to be that Netflix and all these streaming services were way more affordable and more easy to find what you wanted to watch than you going to some websites to get a torrent that could possibly be infected, dealing with your ISP sending you warnings, downloading the file, playing it on your TV or getting a Plex server. There's all this there was a barrier of entry. It was difficult to do. It was sort of a little bit dangerous, a little bit it was a precarious situation. And because streaming was so cheap, it made more sense just to be legal about it. It wasn't even about morals. It was literally about ease of use. You want to reach a customer, give them the easiest, most affordable way to get your product. But when that product becomes expensive, complicated, when streaming services split and split and split and split and split to the point where you have season 2 of a show on Paramount, season 1 of that show on Peacock, and season 3 of that show only on VOD on Amazon because you don't live in the right area. When it gets that complicated and that expensive to just watch the freaking TV show you want to watch, you go, you know what? Pirate Bay ain't looking that bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why you see piracy is literally on the rise again. It's trending up. It's trending up right now. It's because they're shooting themselves in the foot. They need to make it one. They need to go back to the original model of making it easier for you to digest their mindless, soul-sucking content.
They're never going to, though, because the problem is every corporation every month has to show growth. If you're not growing, then you're dying as a company. And the only way for these companies to grow, listen, all the subscribers have been had. You know, maybe as some of the old people that we got now continue to die and younger people come, you can squeeze out a few more subscribers. But guess what? The population is declining in most countries. Okay, so they've got all their subscribers. Now what the hell are you going to do to make more money? Well, you're going to charge more. Oh, well, we can't really charge much more. Okay, we bring in advertising. Oh, well, we can't bring too much advertising in, so we're going to offer multi-level plans. Oh, now we're going to go 3 months. Oh, now we're going to go a year. It's going to continue to be this way, and all it's going to mean is you're going to give a little bit more money, a little bit more blood, a little bit more money every single time they increase because they got to keep growing. So,
and as we know, Shane, and we know, guys, when we first started this move into streaming apps, a lot of us had cable. And a lot of us were thinking, oh, do you know what? If I sign up to these apps and get rid of my cable, it's financially viable.
Save
for me. It's good. I'm saving money. Now you're looking at it with the number of apps you've got. And
we're right back to the cable
minute.
model again.
Yeah,
but now
exactly.
It's digital. Now you're also paying for the internet and the device.
Yeah.
Well, the thing
now
about
you
this,
can control what you're watching, though. I will say.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. The thing about this is it's really interesting because I do believe that there has to be a breaking point. There is too much space, too many customers. The ads supported model is actually not something you can continue long term. Netflix has an ad supported model. I have it. I hate it. I actually would rather not watch Netflix because there's too many ads.
Yeah.
Or I literally was annoyed annoyed by Prime into just spending the extra $3 to get the no ads because there was at one point I'm watching Reacher and there's 13 advertisements on one 45-minute episode. It's like, this is insane. It's not worth. My life is not worth that $3, right?
They were forcing you, and they're still collecting the ad dollars because the advertisers don't know how many views they're getting.
Right. What I'm saying though is that this is not really something that can be maintained long term. I do believe that, and I know what you're saying, Shane, like they're going to keep going and trying to suck as much out of you. There's going to be a consumer version that comes along that decides not to do that. And people are going to flock to that. Now, now your question is,
then it'll start over again. Because that's how it works.
The cycle will continue. Right. Yeah. And that's what you have with like Tubi. Tubi is a really good free platform. Great.
For now.
Right. Yeah. That's what happens. So the cycle's going to keep it's no matter how you look at it, this is going to continue, whether it's in a cable form, a network television form, or now the streaming form. It's going to continue forever. That's why physical media is so important. I'm sorry to say, I hate to be that old guy screaming at the clouds, buy DVDs, you dumbasses. But you need to buy physical media, or at the very least, download, or burn a copy of your media. One thing I gotta say, I used to use this service called Keep Streams. I endorsed it here. I'm telling you right now, I no longer endorse that company. The company, they have done the same things streaming services have done. And they used to charge one price per year for any streaming service you had. So you can save copies of the shows you love before it was taken from that streaming service. It's totally legal. It's legal for you to download what you're paying for. But what happened was they started charging per service a la carte the way these streaming services do. And now the price is ballooned. If you have like 5 or 6 streaming services, it's an insane amount of money, and there's such a blurry line in between like the All for One versus the Paramount, It's confusing. I do no longer endorse keep streams. In fact, if you want an endorsement from me, I suggest maybe you sail the seas.
Yeah. I mean, again, with regards to streaming, when it first came along, I thought, like a lot of people, I thought, oh yeah, this is good, but I still had my collections. But I think it was when I started seeing that companies like Disney, they were editing scenes out of movies.
Yes.
And I was like, and I was like, right, The French Connection was an example. They cut scenes out of that movie. And I was like, no, sorry, sticking with physical media, because again, the day comes when they just pull it all off and that's it. You haven't got it unless you've got your collection. And also, if I get a power cut, if I get internet goes down, I could just boot up the Blu-ray player or the 4K player.
I physical media or your own digital copy, I know some people like have an aversion to having a Blu-ray or whatever. I love I love steelbooks, but you should definitely download your favorite thing while you are paying for it on Netflix. If you love Wednesday, go download a copy for yourself, because you don't know how long that's actually going to be on that service. There's a show called Undateable that I have been trying to find for 5 years. I watched it 5 or 6 years ago. I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. It went to a streaming service. I bought all the seasons, and then all of a sudden, Amazon lost the license to carry it, which means that the seasons that I purchased, guess what? Evaporated like fairy dust. Just gone. Even though I paid for it, they said, we apologize. We no longer have the license for this. Like, hold up. Do I get my money back? No. What I should have done is I should have downloaded that copy, threw it onto a Plex server or something like that, and had a version of it. Since then, I've been looking to watch this show, and it's completely, totally gone anywhere other than pirate sites. Same with Dusk Till Dawn, the TV series. It's gone. You either buy the DVD or you download it or you download it illegally.
No, it's a good point. I mean, I spent so long trying to find the Captain Horatio Hornblower series from the 90s. I think it was the 90s, early 2000s. Fantastic series. I wanted to watch it again. I couldn't find it anywhere, and I didn't have it on physical media. I mean, I have 2,000 DVDs that I was collecting from the late 90s, early 2000s when they came out, and VHS before that. And I still have them, but there's something about, having to go find what you have. It's nice to just have it all digitally available via a search function. It's almost a little bit of a hassle having this media like we used to have it, even though it's a good thing to have. So,
yeah.
Hey, Rec Thoughts, talk to me on Discord after this about that Steam Fest. I actually need a service. I'm working on a documentary right now for our other channel, and I actually need to be able to download stuff, and Keep Streams is making it impossible. The only way I can utilize Keep Streams right now is if I basically pay Shay and I pay $150 a year, which I'm not going to do. I'm not going to do when I can physically go buy those Blu-rays for less money and rip them myself. So you talk to me in Discord, because if that's a better option.
StreamFab is something I've just started using that.
Really?
myself.
Yeah. Keep Streams has gotten so stupid that it's beyond comprehension. And I hate the fact that no matter every time I start it, there's an update. I cannot start that software without having to go through an update. It drives me nuts.
Yeah. All
right. Thank you. By the way, thank you for that, Rec. All right. One thing I want to talk about. By the way, thank you guys, everyone, for your support. Just a reminder. In about 30 minutes, we're going to be going to the members section. And trust me when I say that what we're going to talk about in the members section can only be talked about in the members section. Okay. But first, I want to talk about this, John. Coming from the UK, I want to know what the hell is going on, man. Why are people wearing white masks in the UK? What's happening? Is this a deeper vendetta thing or something?
I love it.
Basically, our country is Dante's Inferno. We're going through the various levels of hell right now.
Oh my goodness.
This is happening, but there's also something as well called ULEZ in London. Now, ULEZ in London, is where the annoying Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, and his cronies, they basically brought in where it's basically vehicle emissions detectors, and they spread it out. So if you drive into London, you have to have a certain vehicle that complies with that emissions, or you get fined. So people have also been climbing up in mass and literally destroying them. So that's happening in London right now. There's CCTV everywhere. There was a post yesterday. I mean, what you're going to show there, I've seen this before. That's a beautiful video, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful video.
Yeah, it's happening more and more. There was a sign I saw advertised yesterday where I think it was the Met Police said, we are recording with facial ID right now, but effectively, please be assured that we will be deleting the footage if it's not useful to what we're looking for. So yeah,
we should just totally trust you to not abuse your power. This is what drives me nuts. People go, oh well, and listen, this is done on the right side too, on quote unquote our side, which I don't consider myself right wing. I consider myself a pretty reasonable, logical person. I don't agree with everything they do. I just agree with them more than I agree with the left. But people go, well, the government's doing it for our own good. Are you not paying attention? You should never give the government control. You should never trust the government to work in your best interests. The government should have as little control over your life as physically possible. They maintain law and order and protect people's rights. That should be the total mission statement for what the government does. There should be no other control. But for some reason, people forget every cycle that they just went through hell, and they try to inflict hell on other people and use the government as a weapon. And then when it happens to them, they're like, oh, it's happening to me again. Stop giving the government control. It makes no sense.
As part of that, guys, as well, with this whole illegal migration headache that's been going on for a long time, the Labour government have effectively come out and they've said, right, we're going to be pushing forward digital ID. And this is something that Tony Blair 20 odd years ago, it has been one of his things that he's wanted to do. So again, that is state control, because if that comes in, that is, if you disagree with what they're telling you to do, they'll cut you off from being able to buy food. They'll cut you off from being able to buy other services. That's what they're looking to bring in. We had a Labour minister on the Breakfast News 2 weeks ago talking about digital ID and was effectively saying that if you don't comply with it, they'll cut you off. So it's all control. And the trouble is, they won't say this, but in my opinion, what has happened is, with all of this illegal migration, it has gone from a high trust society to a low trust society. Right. And they're going, do you know how we can fix this? Digital ID. Because if we know your every movement, everybody's every movement, we won't have any crime, we won't have any problems.
Fucking, and it's 1984, like, man, Jesus Christ.
Bro, are you kidding me? Does no one see the problem with this? It's crazy.
Well, not if you're in power, bro.
That's the
problem.
Not if you're in power. Right.
And I will say, this week with having Trump over, and if you saw the press conference with Trump and when he met with the King as well, it is refreshing to actually have him in the country. I wish we could borrow him off you guys for a longer period, because when he talks, he clearly loves our. Yeah, we're getting him. I'm gonna do a raid.
No, John, he's ours.
Yeah. Well, what John's about to say is, when he talks, he plainly speaks,
right?
And he just says the truth or what's on his mind, and you don't get that from your politicians. That's what you're feeling, right?
He loves the country. He when he speaks, he says how much he loves the country. And it's refreshing to hear, because when you deal with what I like to call our Prime Minister, who I've nicknamed Weasel Face, literally, honestly, if you they're coming for me right now. If you see SWAT, if you see the army come through the window any minute, you know why. But if you see him signing the trade deal with Trump this week, right? You've got Trump signing it with him, and then you've got him going, like holding it up like that, honestly, and you're like, it's like night and day between the two leaders of these countries.
Yeah,
and it's
Drew
like,
is right. Trump shows how ridiculous your prime minister is. It looks so weak. Yeah.
Well, there's this one bit because he just lies, and I think he lies in front of Trump because he thinks if I lie in front of Trump, I'll be okay. But there's this one question that came up by a journalist. She said, "Is the UK still a Christian country?" And he's like, Starmer goes, "Oh yeah, well I was christened in my local church. You know, it's still important to me. It goes through my life." A year ago, you did an interview saying you're an atheist. So it's like
such a liar, man.
We don't believe you.
Trying to stay in power, man. That's what they're doing. Trying to stay in power.
So there's things about the masks. The white masks are basically them trying to keep facial ID from logging them.
Yeah.
Is that what's happening?
Essentially, yeah.
Interesting. I wonder how long until those white masks are outlawed the same way they were in V for Vendetta.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're already saying that, you know, our English flag is, you know, a symbol of hatred for the far right. You know, that's already happening now.
Wild thing to say.
Welcome to
I know.
too.
Yeah, that's like the same thing about the American flag, bro. Which is why it's on my sleeve, on my hat. I hate some people so much, I wear it everywhere.
Yeah, and we've got councils, as I've told you guys before, in the UK taking them down off of lampposts. It is absolutely nuts what's going on at the moment. But you know, again, they've already got so many images of me already, you know. And I tell you what, that's me in all my mixed tees gear. So if I go down, you guys are going down with me. You can see my mugshot, and I'm in prison just with a mixed tees t-shirt on.
Mixed tees has been banned in the EU.
Yeah,
it's true.
Before you're executed, he's
always dripped out in mixed tees.
yeah. Before you're executed by firing squad, John, is there anything you'd like to say? Yeah, if you'd like to log on to mixtees.com, there's a lot of important merchandise you might like to acquire. Thanks very much.
Sure, that's your last words. Absolutely. You can also find them at mxtz.co. Check them out. Use coupon code ThePopcast for 20% off today. All right, so this is also UK. John, I knew you'd want me to play this. This is a classic example of F around and find out.
Look at that.
It's a bit.
He did warn you, mate. He did warn you.
Yeah.
Good one, Fred. He deserved that.
So you know what my problem with this is? He's going to get all of his immigrant buddies to come back with knives.
That's that's the thing. I mean, because these young adults, I say teenagers, young adults, they occupy squares like that in major cities in the UK, and they literally think they control everything. You know, it's getting not far off them actually doing that at the moment. And you know, this is a guy that goes out regularly. That guy's his security guard, and he basically just, it's great to see, just literally gives him the elbow and basically says, you know, you're not trying that trick with me, mate.
Yeah, not gonna happen. Yeah. So what happens is and tell me if I'm wrong here, John. Again, I don't live there, but John does. So if I'm wrong, he'll say so. The migrants, they take over what was once a celebrated, storied, classic public spaces, parks, circles, really impressive parts, you know, tourist parts of Great Britain. They literally go into those squares, those public squares, and they basically just take over with numbers. And they set up their little spaces, and when they have the numbers, they don't allow other people to access those spaces. Once they've gone into, say, the square or the park, and they have the numbers they need to dominate the space, then they completely take over, and it basically becomes Sharia law in that space.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you an example. Leicester in the UK now, they have like you would get in, you know, Islamic countries. People are woken up in the mornings with the Islamic prayer, call to prayer, broadcasted across the city. That's where we are now. And yeah, again, they call people that have major concerns about this far right and racist. We're not at all. We're just concerned citizens about what's happening to our country.
My problem is that people don't see the microcosm here. They go into the country, they find a space that they can take over. At first they come in and they're part of the group, they're normal, and they slowly gain numbers until they overwhelm that space, and then they immediately switch over to their rules and they force people out and they become violent. The reason why I brought that up is because that's exactly what's happening in the whole of the UK. It's not just the public parks are little microcosms of what they're doing to the whole country.
So the question is, John, what's the motivation here? Is the reason why half of your government the same thing? It's for votes. Are they allowing this immigration attack to happen because it helps them stay in power? What's the reasoning?
There's two things. There's the first one is Labour have got a large majority of Muslim votes. So, you know, it's like where we've had in the UK, you've probably seen it. I think we've talked about it before, guys, where you've had the rape gangs inquiry, where it was covered up for decades that young boys and girls were being abused by Pakistani rape gangs.
Right.
So that was concealed and covered up. And again, those councils where it was occurring were majority Labour councils. And Labour continue to push the vote. I mean, today, Starmer's going to announce that he supports a Palestinian state. He's not doing it because he believes in it, because he wants the Muslim vote in the UK and the support from his MPs that are Muslim. That's why he's doing that. There's also the other side of it, which is where they've fought to make sure that GDP remains high. They've imported cheap labor. And that's part of it. They think by bringing these illegal migrants in, it will help with the GDP. And both things are destroying the country. But as Weasel Boy, as I call him, this will make you laugh as well, okay? So they did a deal with France where it was basically and we laughed at the time because he said, right, we're doing a 1 in, 1 out illegal migrant deal with France. So we give them one and they give us one. Okay. And so it's
you're trading each other the exact same thing.
Yeah. So this is the official thing, right? This is the official procedure they're going with. But yet you've got, like yesterday, we had 1,000 illegal migrants turn up on boats yesterday alone. So you got one going out and you've got 1,000 coming in, and they keep trying to sell it. So what happened this week was Monday and Tuesday this week, 2 flights were going to go off to France with, you'll laugh at this, with one migrant on each plane, right? As it was about to take off, the human rights lawyers got involved, and and there was an injunction put in place that plane could not take off.
Oh my God.
And that happened for 2 days. They then got it to go out on the 3rd day, and the Home Secretary, this is the new Muslim Home Secretary, she put out a video boasting about our plan has worked. We've now got, our first person has gone out of the country. It's like you're boasting about one person, only another 200,000 to go. We'll be golden. Thanks very much. It's madness.
So that's the issue with, this is why legal migration is so important. And depending on the country, like your country is small in comparison to our country. So your boat is going to get tipped over faster. And this is what's occurred in the UK is you've brought in so many, and most of it I think is legal immigration, right? It's not even illegal immigration, right? It's legal immigration.
Well, I mean, it's only legal because their rules are so lax.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. So there's not even a lot to fight against because, you don't have the laws in place to kind of protect the integrity of your culture, and that's what's happening. You're being lopsided here.
I think, and again, what annoys me is when you talk about our National Health Service, and as you guys know, it's a free service, but the stories you get, if you're going to go in there for an emergency and go into accident and emergency, you could be sat there for 14 hours before you're even seen. And they then say, well, what do we need to do to solve the NHS? But as you were just saying, Shane, we're already there. We're at critical mass because our infrastructures cannot cope, because these illegal migrants that are coming in, they're going straight onto benefits. They're not working. They're not taking in a salary. They're not paying taxes. So it's taxing the UK workers to the hilt, and there's more tax coming later in the year. And you're called far right if you ask that question and say, well, hang on a minute, shouldn't we just put a stop on people coming in until we fix the infrastructure? And that's Trump did that. What was it? Trump said he's at 0 immigration in how many months now since he's been in office?
Right. And so that's what I was talking about. So illegal immigration, we still bring in 1 million people a year legally from other countries. But at some point, that might tip our scales too much. Because we have so much illegal immigration, we should probably even slow down legal immigration for a while. Because what happens is when you bring in so many people with outside values from what your country holds true, all of a sudden those become the values of your country. And that's what's happening, I think, in your country.
Well, we had an example this week. I think I sent you it, Brian, in the week, but we had an illegal migrant who had been turned down for asylum in the UK, but he was on the run, so he was sleeping rough. Okay, so he was going into kids' schools, like infant schools. He was going in there, so these schools were going on lockdown, and he went into 6 in the area, and they had to shut the blinds, teachers at the doors, police called out. The first time he did it, the police turned up, arrested him. That later afternoon, he was back out on the street. He's illegal. You've turned him down, so why are you letting him out on the street? It's madness.
Yeah, I've never understood the concept of someone comes to your country illegally, they get caught, they go to some rushed hearing and then just released.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Why? Yeah. They do the same thing here, and I don't understand it. You think you're ever going to see that person again? All right, don't forget to come to your second hearing. Good luck, Juan. Yeah. And you're like, well, you're never seeing Juan ever again. That guy's you don't even have his you don't have any identifying information for this guy. You just he's on his own honor. He's going to come back in a month and possibly be deported. Come on, dude.
I can confirm to you, actually, mate, the location of Juan, because he now lives next door to me. So,
Brian, I got a bone to pick.
And he's breeding pit bulls.
I got a bone to pick with you, Brian.
Oh, here we go.
I got a bone to pick, man. I watched Peacemaker's episode 5 last night, and I got to tell you, you made it seem like I was going to find something out that we never found out. And so I want to know.
I didn't make it seem that way. What I told you was it's a good episode because it sets
He's like a Bond villain.
It sets up the reveal.
We talked about something in prior episodes, about something that was going to happen in this new universe, the way this new universe was going to spin out, and you acted like that was what was going to happen.
Well, because you said you don't want to be you said you don't want to be spoiled, then you get mad at me for not spoiling it.
Well, you acted like you spoiled it. What's up with that?
No. I was purposely not giving you information you were asking for. You started looking at me like the same way you watch the show or when you watch James Gunn, you were looking to me for clues, but you told me specifically not to spoil it.
Well, I was talking about what I thought was interesting about it. I'm like, well, that place can't be what it is. And you said, well, you know what his father is like. So hint, hint.
I'm just going to spoil it. Either. That universe is Earth. It's Earth X. That's what it is. And I just spoiled it for anyone that's ever read a comic book.
How can you know it's Earth X? You've already seen everything we've seen.
Yeah. It's Earth X.
Right?
I'm guessing. No, I'm not guessing. It's literally in the episode. It's okay. I'm going to stop talking because I'm going to ruin it for you, Shane. You want me to ruin it or not?
You can't ruin it because I've already seen 5.
But you don't have all the information I have.
How could you?
Peacemakers.
Not your dark chat rooms where people.
Not my dark chat room, bro. I'm talking about comic knowledge. there are things in this last episode that literally tell you exactly what that Earth is.
Okay.
So Peacemaker's got to
Thank
be.
you, Lord Toth. It's Earth X.
Yeah. So Peacemaker's. He's got to be a metahuman, right? Because the pasting he took, the kicking he took, that would break any regular human guy, surely.
Or he's just 6'9", 300 pounds. I don't know. He did take a beating in that episode.
That knee to the neck, yeah.
So wait, is Earth X? I mean, obviously,
no one answer. Shane, stop asking questions.
Lord.
No, Shane.
It's Earth X.
Yes, it is Earth X. Lord Toth.
It is a modified Earth X. He's already failed me. So now you have to tell me what that means.
No, I'm not going to tell you what Earth X is. I'm not, because you're going to get mad if I ruin it. You're going to enjoy it when you see the reveal next week.
Right. Well, so if I was a comic book fan, I wouldn't.
Yes, you would. You would know if you were a comic book fan. Just like Lord Toth is a comic book fan. That episode made it very clear that it's Earth X.
All right.
It makes me want to read Peacemaker. I've never read the Peacemaker runs.
Yeah,
but
the Earth X is actually not in. This is not part of Peacemaker's comic books. Earth X is part of DC universe as a whole. They're part of a lot of the Crisis crossovers and all that. All right, look,
okay.
We need to stop talking Peacemaker. And Shane, you don't want to know.
Okay.
Because it's good. Your experience next week will be lessened.
But I already believe it's a racist place because that's what you've set me up to believe.
Okay. So you want me to tell you where the X is? You want me to tell you where the X is?
No, you don't have to.
You want me to tell you? You want me to tell you?
Wait.
No one cares. Everyone fine with this? I'm just going to tell you what Earth X is. What is Earth X? Ready? Earth X is the universe where World War II didn't go the way it went here.
Okay. Well.
Okay.
That's the same thing you thought it was then.
If we find out Jimmy Kimmel's in prison.
It's the version of Earth where the Nazis won World War II.
Oh, well, that's what I thought it was, anyways.
That's what Earth X is.
But that's what Earth X is.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
That's the real only difference, that they won World War II.
Why? Okay, what gave it away? What was the thing that you just said it gave it away in the episode? So what was it?
You were
very confident.
Yes, I'm very confident. I know for a fact it's Earth X. It's the symbols on the clothing they wear in that uniform. It's the exact same symbols that is on the Earth X Nazi uniform.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to stop talking. Thank you, Lord Toth. Yeah, Earth 9999999. Yeah. Okay.
You know, all this multiverse shit just pisses me off. But
one more quick thing. I know. Shane gets mad when I spoil things, but then he asks me to spoil them. I don't.
Well, you spoiled it already.
But I didn't know I didn't spoil it. No.
I don't know how you knew. Like, you didn't see it.
You just requested that I tell you how I knew. I just told you. John, you see what I deal with here, bro?
No, listen, I didn't want to have the rug pulled over my eyes, bro. I didn't want to be set up for something that wasn't going to happen and then get laughed at by everybody in class.
That's not what happened. Not at all.
I was waiting for the racism, man. I wanted to see it. Okay.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, it wasn't that blatant. No, but he's wearing. Well, it's literally. It's the swastika is literally on his shirt, and in their dresses. Like, they're literally wearing the swastika in the patterns of their clothing.
Give us an image.
If you were paying attention, you would have seen it very clearly.
I don't notice things like that.
Okay, I'm gonna move over to another topic now. No Peacemaker stuff this week. We'll talk about Peacemaker next week.
Peacemaker, it was in the title.
Okay, I did want to show you guys this though. So we talked about the UK, right? And them taking over spaces, and once the migrants' numbers outweigh the people in that area, they become hostile. They start forcing their rules and their ideas on other people. Well, this is in the United States. This is in Philadelphia. DA Larry Krishner allowed people to be blocked from attending his town hall meeting where he planned to discuss support for illegal immigration and marginalized communities. So the DA is having a public town hall meeting, and people that did not agree with them were being blocked. Notice the garb these people are wearing. It's the same exact tactics being used in the UK right now, happening right here in Philadelphia. So if you don't think it's going to happen large scale, the second they have the numbers, it's going to. Here you go.
You're not coming in. You're not coming in. Simple as that. You're not coming into our sacred spaces. You're not coming in. You're not coming in.
So first off, it's not a sacred space. It's literally a public space. It's a town hall. I'm not sure why, but because they have numbers, they can just say no.
You're not coming in.
So what group is this? Is this Muslim?
Oh, it's a hodgepodge group of Muslim immigrants and LGBTQIA plus minus exclamation point, Listen, Klingon symbol for war.
I just let them have Philadelphia, bro. Actually, you know what's funny? They'll never get Philadelphia, and I'll tell you why. Have you ever watched Philadelphia Eagles football game?
Yeah, the Eagles. Yeah,
those people ain't gonna fucking stand for that.
Yeah,
shit.
those people are nuts.
Those people are crazy.
They'll never completely take over Philadelphia because Eagles fans are insane. Right.
Well,
I'm not even a football guy, and I know that when it comes to all the fans, there's a few groups of fans that take the top 3 echelon of insane, and that's Eagles fans and Raiders fans.
Very true. Well,
They're nuts.
Raiders in Oakland, yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to go all sinister before you play the video, I mean, there's quite a lot of very, very knowledgeable people that talk about Islam, and they basically say, their plan for invasion of your countries is it's either by the sword or by the womb.
Yeah,
so if they can't do it by the sword, they'll breed you.
Yeah, it's called Takaya too. And like if you ask actual prominent Muslim figures and politicians that are of Muslim faith that have gotten elected in those positions because of liberals, because of really dumb liberals that think that they have the same ideology, even though the moment these people come into power, that blue-haired lesbian is being thrown off a building. So what happens is the term is called takaya. They're allowed to straight up lie to you about their intentions, and it's not a sin because it's for the expansion of Islam.
Sounds like politics.
Right.
Yeah.
They can lie to you if it gets them what they want.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's this. By the way, this gets infuriating. An actual cop shows up, and the lack of testicles on these people is insane. The cop can't do anything. The fact that a cop shows up to try to open up the space, and they just tell him, "F you, get out of here." I mean, dude, I couldn't imagine in LA telling a cop to F off. Couldn't imagine.
Well, in our country, mate, you've got Christians preaching with their Bibles on high streets, and you've got Muslim guys coming up offended and actually going for the Christian preacher, and the British police officers, it's caught on video, they tell the preacher to move on.
Right.
That's what you're gonna get. We're further down the road than you guys.
Didn't billy clubs come from your country? Fuckers in the face.
Well, I think it's getting closer to me becoming Daredevil, to be honest with you.
Nice.
So let's finish real quick.
Why not? Why can't I come in? Because I said you're not.
This is Larry Krasner's town hall at Mother Bethel Church at Society Hill.
You're not coming on sacred space.
Notice the priest, but the priest is wearing a traditional Muslim ceremonial blouse, but also wearing a priest collar. Dude, this guy's all messed up.
Yeah.
You're not coming in our sacred space, as simple as that. Because I said you're not coming in. I'm saying you're not coming in.
You have no right to tell
You're not coming in.
There's the cop. There's the bike cop being told to F off.
You're not coming in our sacred space.
They're not even letting the police in to the public town hall. It's a church, but it's a Christian church. They're having a public town hall.
We were trying to come to the event.
I mean, I guess they technically can say who can come in and can't come in.
It's not their church.
I mean, it's a private building.
Well, it's a private building hosting a public event.
Right, but let's say
they don't own the building. By the way, they just don't like these right wing people, so they won't let them in.
I mean, I get what you're saying, and it's obvious that this right wing person is trying to create a scene. That's their goal. That everybody.
I don't think that's the case. I think they tried to get in. They were told they couldn't, so they busted out the phone and they started recording.
Maybe.
I mean, if I keep playing it, they literally create a human blockade where anyone that's not them can't go into the town hall.
I don't trust people on social media who advertise this kind of stuff because there's so much of this stuff going on. And listen, if you were coming to ruin my event, and I'm not advocating for these people, but I'm just saying
it's a town hall.
Like, if you show up to ruin my shit, okay, and I'm not going to let you in either.
It's a town hall. No one should be in charge of who can come into the public town hall.
Hold it in a public space, brother.
Okay, that's not really an option though in a lot of places.
Maybe it's not a public town hall meeting if it's not being held in a public space.
It's a public town hall meeting, and they thought they were meeting on neutral ground in a church that is always open. That Mother Bethel Church is open 24 hours a day. Anyone can go in there and light candles. So they thought they were holding it into a public space, which is, it might be privately owned by the church, but it's a public space essentially. The fact that anyone that thinks that they have the authority to say whether someone can go to an event because of their political affiliation is insane. And I know,
agree with it, but I do, listen, I if that priest owns that building, that guy standing.
No, that's not the priest of that building.
Okay, well,
completely different denomination.
You get my point, right? If a bunch of left-wing activists came when I was trying to hold an event and a bunch of left-wing activists came to fuck it up, I wouldn't let them in. So it's just hard to tell what's true and not true from some of these videos sometimes.
All I know is they're being banned from a public town hall meeting, which stinks the same way it stunk when they were covering up the windows so that Republican viewers couldn't see that when they were counting votes. It stunk the same way when they kicked people out that were supposed to be actually watching the count because they didn't want them seeing it. That stinks.
So as a Brit, guys, not knowing how your town halls work, I'm assuming if it's a political town hall, you've got your senator or a house member there. Everyone's free to come in and sit down and listen to what they've got to say in that, and they will use a private event location as well, like a church or what we have here, a town hall. Yeah. They will do that.
They should allow them. Yeah, it should be like that. I don't, from that video, it wasn't clear the context of what was going on to me. So that's why I'm just playing a little bit of devil's advocate saying, I always try to take things and go, okay, how would I feel if it was the other way around? Because if we don't do that, then we're going to get locked into our little echo chambers. So this is why I'm not saying that they're right, or I'm not questioning, Brian, what you're pulled up. I'm just saying, just trying to give thought to make sure everybody's always thinking about the other side too,
Sure.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay, so before we go, we're going to the member section, guys. Okay. I did want to point out that Kenneth the Roke gave 5 gift memberships. Thank you.
Woo.
In the members section, and we're going to read some more super chats here before we leave, but in the members section, we're going to be watching this. And it is a extremely offensive cartoon, but that cartoon very much perfectly depicts the media and how horrible the legacy media is. And I would love to play it here, but there's literally like cursing and there's all kind. It's bad. It's not something I can play on public YouTube. So, but it's a very good depiction of. Look, there's Hannity. It's funny. It's a very good depiction of how the media works, and it's really funny. Now, in the member section, we're gonna let our hair down, and we're gonna watch that video, and we're gonna talk to you guys. I hope you guys can join us. If you did not get a membership, you're not a member, click on the membership button. That's the best way to support us. If not, that's cool. Before we go, though, I want to highlight John Burns, who has been a member for 13 months. Absolute rock star. He said, "You jackasses are ignoring my comments. I hate the mayor of London, England."
You have earned the right to call us jackasses because you've been a member for 13 months, sir.
Yeah.
He clearly knows us.
John Burns often comments. He also said for $2, "I'd rather be in Philadelphia at WC Fields." John Burns is an awesome supporter. And yes, just like John Burns, you can also be a supporter by becoming a member today and enjoying us in the members section. Before we leave, John, Shane, don't forget also, John and I have our watch along tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. PST or whatever time it is in the UK. We're watching Stargate SG-1. So come for that. John's channel is in the description. Before we leave, boys, Shane's around with you. You got any parting words, my friend?
Yes, my parting words is thank you all for coming and hanging out with us today. If you noticed, I am wearing my Miami Dolphins hat, even though they are 0-3 and probably the worst team in the NFL right now. I just want you to know, I always support. I'm loyal to the end.
Respect.
And I'm just as loyal to you guys as I am to my team.
Can I tell you a funny story I heard about the Miami Dolphins?
Yeah.
So there was a young boy that was taken away from his parents because his parents were abusive. And he was given to his aunt and uncle, who was part of that family. Later on, they found out that his aunt and uncle also beat him and were abusive. So they're in the family court, and they're trying to find a place. They don't want to stick this kid in the foster system. And so they decide to give him to their grandparents, the grandfather and grandmother. But then they're caught also beating this kid. It's horrible. This kid's abused. And in a weird turn of events, the judge goes, Johnny, who would you like to spend time with? Is there anyone that you would like to raise you? And he goes, I would like to be raised by the Miami Dolphins because they never beat anyone.
Holy crap, dude. I thought this was going to be a touching story, and it's really just another slam. Okay, I can take it. I've been a fan for 30
I didn't
years.
deliver that the best, but it was really freaking funny.
There's starting to become a rift between the two brothers now. That's growing.
I don't watch football. Okay, guys, we're going to the member section. Johnny, before we go, you got any parting words, my friend?
It's been an absolute joy to be on here again with you two. Always have fun with you. And it's been great seeing all the comments in the chat. I've said before, this chat has got the best bunch of people in it on YouTube.
Epic, legendary.
All
right,
coming
guys.
to the members
See
section.
your message. I'm not exactly sure what I did. Shane, you got the video I posted. You asked me to send things about this video. Where did you send it, buddy? I don't see it in
You're in
Twitter.
Discord or something.
I'm a bit worried about what this video is.
All right, guys, if you want to become a member, hit the join button. If you're already a member, when we end this, it's going to immediately take you to the members section. Even if you're not a member, when you get there, become a member. And we're going to watch that cartoon, and we're going to have a good time over there. We'll see you guys in the members section. And if you can't join us, that's cool. We'll see you next week. Have an awesome night. Adios.
Bye. See ya.